Welcome to Region Weather Live, your YouTube source for weather across the Dakotas and Minnesota. I'm meteorologist Brad Werner. Hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving last week. Not too bad weather-wise, cold, some snowy conditions here and there, but certainly nothing that we up here in the North Country can't handle. It wasn't really that bad at all. And really, we've got more of the same coming for us for next week. Some cold, some snowy conditions in some areas, but all in all, not too bad of a week in store. And as we go into Sunday evening here, we've had some snow move from northwest to southeast. And as it's done so, it's created just some snow-covered roads here and there, some reduced visibilities. Not too bad, but there is some areas across central and some southeastern parts of North Dakota where you might need to slow down just a bit as you're traveling through that part of our region. And of course, that snow is expected to continue to kind of move down to the south and east, kind of to Sioux Falls and southwestern parts of Minnesota. Again, not too terribly bad, but just something to keep in mind as we travel, as we wind up our Thanksgiving weekend, going through Sunday night. And to start off, I'm just going to quickly step through the upper levels here, and we take a look at the jet stream and just kind of what's going on in a general sense. And you can see we mostly have the jet stream kind of coming out of the west northwesterly direction. So most of these storms, if we get anything, are going to be very quick hitters. They're going to be coming out of the north. They're going to be bringing in some cold air, sometimes briefly before moving out. As we get into Tuesday and into Wednesday and Thursday here, you can see a pretty strong jet moving through and allowing some cold air into our region, especially across the north and eastern part of our region. But then as that moves off, we bring in perhaps a little bit warmer air to the southwestern parts of our region. But by and large, as we go through the week and even into next week, most of our energy comes out of Canada, comes out of the northwest. So what that means is we're not looking for any of those big, large storms. Generally, we're looking for this jet stream to pull out of the south and west and for those large storms to eject out of this region, and we're not going to see that. So that's essentially why we're just going to be getting or seeing some of these lighter snows, some colder temperatures now and again as we go throughout this time frame. So here we are Sunday evening, and there's that snow that's moving from northwest to southeast going into the overnight hours Sunday night. And then we've got this high pressure that settles in. So a little bit more reinforced cold air to start off our work week. As we get into more so Monday night, Tuesday, we're looking, we've got a bit of a warm front that's out ahead of this little clipper system. So allowing a little bit more warmer air into the region. But if you look closely behind it, we're going to be seeing another cold front move through our region, and I'll step this ahead here, and that's mostly going to come into play Tuesday night and into Wednesday morning. Here we are, Wednesday morning now, kind of mostly or halfway through our region, I should say, as we start off our Wednesday right around 7 a.m. and that cold front sliding on through. And we're looking at snow across the northeastern parts of our area. Not a whole lot of snow for most of you, but for some areas across the Arrowhead region of Minnesota could pick up several inches of snow as this system moves on through. Now, as that cold front continues to slide southward, we get this reinforced cold air with this high pressure system. So as we get into Thursday, still going to be very, very cold, especially our morning lows are going to be very, very chilly to start off our Thursday. Then as we get into Thursday evening and then more so into Friday, a little bit more of a shot of warm air, and along with that, perhaps some snow, maybe even some sleet, perhaps maybe even some rain across parts of South Dakota. And then, of course, that little system moves through, and we're left with just some warmer air to the south and west, some cooler air to the northeast, and that's pretty much how we sit throughout most of the week. Now, one little thing to keep an eye on as we go into next weekend, a couple of models sort of indicating this heavier storm system just quickly moving through the region. Time frame very much up in the air, but surprisingly, a couple models have this where we have some rain, some freezing rain, and perhaps just a quick burst of some heavy snow moving across parts of South Dakota, perhaps southern Minnesota. And again, that's for next weekend, perhaps even into the beginning of next week. Quite a ways out there. We'll just have to keep an eye on that and see if that does indeed develop. And so zooming in here as we go into Tuesday, right around noon, we see that snow move across north and eastern parts of Minnesota. This is Tuesday evening around 7 p.m. You can see a fair amount of snow across the Arrowhead region. Again, some areas could pick up 4, 5, maybe even 6 inches of snow as this system moves through. And then as we go into Tuesday night and particularly through Wednesday morning, that cold front swings on through the region, and these little isobars, these black lines, get really tight behind it. So we're going to be seeing some snow showers, but perhaps more the story for Wednesday is going to be the strong northwesterly winds behind this cold front, creating some drifting snow, perhaps some blowing snow in some areas that already have the snow on the ground. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. The winds are going to be more of a problem for most areas as we go through the day on Wednesday. Now that big high pressure settles in for Thursday, reinforcing that cold air. Thursday is going to be a bitter one. And again, a little bit of snow perhaps in the western parts of the Dakotas. Not much of a concern with that one. Perhaps a couple of quick, 2 quick inches associated with that, maybe at the most. And then again, maybe Thursday night into Friday morning, a quick little hitting system again. Another couple of inches possible. Maybe some freezing rain or some freezing drizzle associated with that in southwestern parts of North Dakota as we get into Friday morning. And then that one quickly moves to the southeast and basically evaporates. The moisture just kind of goes away with it as that quickly moves to the southeast. And then as we start our Saturday, not much going on. And then we kind of look into Sunday, perhaps Monday, as we get another shot of snow, maybe some freezing rain, and perhaps even some rain if this does indeed develop. And we talked about those winds going into Tuesday night and into Wednesday, and there you can see some of the gusts for the day on Wednesday. We're talking 40, 45 miles per hour across a good chunk of eastern Dakotas and through pretty much all of Minnesota. So some very windy conditions. Again, if there's any kind of loose snow on the ground, definitely going to be some drifting, some blowing snow, perhaps some slippery conditions just because of the winds on the backside of this cold front that's going to be moving through on Wednesday. Now for our snowfall amounts, well, here's this system that's moving through Sunday night and into very early Sunday morning, again dropping a couple of inches on the ground across portions of North Dakota. And then as we go into Tuesday and Tuesday night, there's that system that basically clips more so the northeastern parts of Minnesota. And so that's kind of where I was talking about, where we could see 3, 4, maybe 5 to 6 inches of snow across the far northeastern parts of the state through the overnight hours Tuesday night and into early Wednesday morning. And then through the remainder of the week, again, here's that one system coming in early Thursday, the next one coming in Thursday night, perhaps all told, bringing another couple of inches of snow by the time we're done through the week. And we're going to take a look at those high temperatures through the week. Here's Monday. We're looking at the single digits in northern parts of North Dakota. Otherwise, we're looking at teens to 20s across much of the area until you get down to the far southwestern parts of South Dakota, where we're looking to get to near freezing to low 30s for our high temperatures on Monday. Now, Tuesday, remember I mentioned that warm front moving through, so temperatures do warm up. And in fact, look at this possibility, maybe even getting 60 degrees, perhaps down into Rapid City on Tuesday for high temperatures. Man, that sure would be nice for this time of year. But as you head further to the east, we get below freezing and we got our high temperatures generally in the 20s. Now, Wednesday, that cold front does sweep through our area, but not fast enough for some areas across the south, as they're still going to be getting highs in the 30s to 40s to perhaps again, once again in Rapid City near 50 degrees. But as you go further north, you're still looking at those high temperatures in the teens to 20s. Thursday is going to be the cold one. Here's our morning lows Thursday morning in the single digits to perhaps even double digits below zero up into the far north central parts of North Dakota. And you add some wind chill on top of that, we're definitely going to be talking wind chills in the minus 20 to minus 30 degrees up there in northern parts of North Dakota. So really chilly start to your Thursday. And of course, with that, the highs aren't going to be much better. Single digits across the Red River Valley, across northwestern and northern parts of Minnesota. Going to be struggling to get to the 20s in much of the region across southern parts of Minnesota, most of North Dakota. And then it's not until you get down to those guys down in the far southwestern part of South Dakota, once again getting into the upper 30s possibly. Friday's high temperatures, a bit of a rebound. We're looking at highs in the upper 40s to near 50 in the southwest, to the teens in the north and east. And for Saturday, more of the same, teens to low 20s in the northeast to 40s to low 50s in the far southwest. So all in all, not a bad week, a manageable week, I should say. Some snow, some heavier snows in the far northeastern parts of Minnesota, some gusty winds across the eastern Dakotas and much of Minnesota for Wednesday. That might be the problem day just because of the stronger winds. Bringing some blowing and drifting, perhaps some reduced visibilities in some of those open areas. So just keep that in mind throughout the day on Wednesday. But other than that, no big systems on the horizon, just one that we might have to keep an eye on towards the back end of next weekend. We'll see how that develops as that time gets closer. All right, everybody, for Region Weather Live, I'm meteorologist Brad Warner. Everybody, have a good day.